Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my first video after Bookmas, and I took a few days off just to relax and not have to think about anything. And now I'm back with a super exciting video. This video is gonna be me reading the Harry Potter series for the first time ever. Well, actually, that's kind of a lie. When I was like 8 or 9, I read the first 2 or 3 books, but that was like over a decade ago. So I'm gonna be like experiencing these books for the first time again. I always watch the movies during Christmas time, like during this time. So I feel like reading the books and then watching the movies, perfection. I got this in the mail a couple days ago. Isn't it beautiful? Look at this. Even the box is so pretty. Hello guys, it's the next day. I didn't film much last night, but I did read a lot. I got this far into the book, chapter 15, page 260. This book is going by so fast, and I just kind of got lost in it. Like last night, I think I stayed up till around 1 o'clock reading this. I didn't even realize what time it was. I'm not even gonna tell you what this is. It's Harry Potter. You know what Harry Potter is, right? Okay, quick interruption. I just realized after I said that there might be some people who are watching me that aren't familiar with Harry Potter. I don't want to say you live under a rock, but I'm just kidding. Anyways, this book, just to like sum it all up, is about this little boy named Harry Potter. Harry Potter's parents, a well-known witch and wizard, and one day this very bad dark wizard named Voldemort, or they refer to him as like you know who because they don't want to say his name, came into their house, killed his parents but couldn't kill him, and after that he just disappeared, and everyone celebrated because this person you know who was very bad, basically everyone's enemy and just making everyone's life hell. You know who wasn't able to kill him, so the wizards decided to give him to his mom's sister, and his mom's sister and her family just despise everything about wizards. They don't want anything part of it. So when Harry showed up in their doorstep, they just hated him from the very start, and they put him in a little room under the stairs right here. You've seen this before. Once he turns like 11 years old, he gets his first letters to attend Hogwarts. Hogwarts is like the #1 school for wizards and witchcraft, so that's when his story begins. Let's go back to what I was saying. This book has been so good. Like I forgot how good this is. It just brings back the memories when I was reading it when I was like in elementary school. Harry Potter experiencing Hogwarts for the first time. I remember when I was little, I was waiting for my own owl. July or August, I'd be waiting outside seeing if there's like owls anywhere that's gonna come and bring me my letter. Wasn't that everyone though? And I forgot how much I disliked Harry's aunt and uncle, but it's going well so far. I think I'm gonna finish this. I have like 70-ish pages left, so I'm gonna sit down, finish this so we can get into the second book. I'm so excited. Hey guys, it's a few hours later. I was actually at my aunt's house because it's my little cousin's birthday, and I had lunch there, and I just wanted to come back and talk to you guys before I have to go back again. I finished the first book there, and I was bawling my eyes out. I don't know why. Like, this book brought so many like nostalgic memories about my childhood and like watching the movies growing up. I absolutely loved it. Everything about this book was amazing. First of all, I loved Hagrid. Hagrid is described as this big, scary man, but inside he's just a soft teddy bear, and I love him. Every time he talks, I hear his voice from the movie. I think I read this book in my head majority of the time in a British accent because it just gave more character and like better imagination. It was so good. There was a plot twist at the end. It was so good, like no words can describe. If you know the ending, I got so emotional. I was like so happy and like teary. I loved experiencing Hogwarts again for the first time with Harry. I was learning like the little bits and details of like Hogwarts, and it's just amazing to me how J.K. Rowling is just so smart. I don't know how authors come up with such good ideas in their head about books. And I think I'm giving this a 5 stars. And now we're on to the second book, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and I think this is where we meet him, right? This one I don't think is too long as well. It is like 361 pages. This one was 330, so it's just a bit longer. I think I have like 2-ish hours before I have to go back, so I want to get through a chunk of this book. Hey guys, I got ready to go to yet another birthday party. I know there's a lot of birthday parties this month, but I got to this much of the way through the book, page 192, chapter 11. I got to the part where it's like, oh my god, something big is happening but we don't know, and it's just like building up. Anyways, yeah, he's still in the picture. He reappeared once again at Hogwarts, and there's this attacks happening. The first attack was there was like writing all over the wall saying like the Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Like Hogwarts was built by 4 people that now represent the houses. It was said that Salazar Slytherin said that the students he wanted for the school were like pure blood and not any like muggle born, half wizard, half witch. He didn't want any half students. That's what I was saying. Apparently he was just like not liked by everyone else who founded the school, and apparently he made like a secret chamber somewhere, and it housed this monster that only the heir of Slytherin can control, and essentially opened this chamber. So now it's been opened, and they're wondering like who did it and how, because now it's affecting the students. There's one student that was like just petrified or scared to their asses that they just froze. That's what Harry's gonna try and find out. I also do want to say one of the characters here, their new defenses against the dark arts, Gilderoy Lockhart. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I forgot how annoying and unbearable his character was. He's like this almost celebrity there. He's like an author or some sort. His ego is just way up here. Harry finds him absolutely irritating just because he boasts about himself all the time. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Goodbye. Hello guys, I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a long time, but the previous clip was literally yesterday for me and probably a second or two ago for you guys. But I did finish the second book, which is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, late last night. I think at 2. I didn't even realize what time it was. That's how good this book was. It was keeping me hooked the entire time. And the last 50 pages was when everything went down. It was so good. I mean, the rest of the book is still really good, but the last 50 pages was where I was like, damn, like I need to finish this and know what happened afterwards. Of course I knew what happened because I watched the movies every year, and I think I remember reading this book when I was like 10 or 11. I can't even explain what I was feeling while I was reading this. I was just like entertained and hooked the entire time. And Dobby, I still don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm cherishing all the happy moments we have with him because, you know, I don't want to say much, but if you know, you know. I think I'm giving this, again, a 5 stars. It was just so good. It just brought back so many memories of me when I was young. Just everything about this book was brilliant. Oh, one thing I want to say though, the other place I want to visit in this book, as much as I want to visit Hogwarts, is Diagon Alley. I just want to see that the different shops they have, the things they sell. It just seems so like fascinating to me, and it would be so interesting. Like, I want to visit it. I wish it was a real place. This is the one thing I hate about like books, is that they make up fictional places that like I want to visit so bad, but then I come back to reality. I'm like, no, it's not real. Like, I'll never visit it. Yeah, I visited the Hogwarts in like Universal Studios, but it's not the same. I remember getting my hopes up like when I was young, like, where's my owl? Where's my owl? Anyways, I'm gonna get started on this. I think I don't specifically remember me reading this, but I have short-term memory, so I might remember it randomly when I read a phrase, because that's what happened when I was reading this. From the movie, I remember what happens in the movie. This is when a prisoner from the prison escapes, and I think his name's Sirius Black. He's a mass murderer and follower of Lord Voldemort, and he's after Harry. guys, it's like 2 hours later and I got this much into the book. Page 129, chapter 7. This book, I don't know, it just got me laughing. In this book, Hagrid becomes a teacher and he teaches care of magical creatures class, and it's just so funny. He's so sweet, and of course someone had to ruin everything. He essentially ruins the first day and he's acting out and everything, and Hagrid's just this big teddy bear and he's like overthinking. He's like, I don't want to get fired on the first day, and he's just so sweet. Anyways, they have the rest of their classes. They're in their 3rd year, so they can take like extra classes, and they took this class called divination. Is that what it's called? And I think it's like fortune telling. They were talking about like orbs and like crystals, and obviously Harry got like a bad reading and saying he got like the death omen. He's freaked out about that because of like Sirius Black, who's coming to haunt him and is essentially a bad person, like a murderer. That's all I have to say. It's pretty good so far. I love Hagrid. I think Hagrid's one of my favorite characters. Cedric introduced the story, and if you know anything about the movie, I'm in love with him. I'm in love with Robert Pattinson. In general, I just love him. I'm gonna read now. Book is so good. I'm loving this way more than the 2nd and 3rd book so far. This one is just like funny, sweet, and like heartwarming. Hagrid, oh my god, I love him so much. He cares and cries about his like magical creatures. Like he's just this big teddy bear crying, sobbing because someone's threatened to like take away one of his creatures, and he's like, I can't leave him all alone during Christmas, so I just brought him here. I'm like, oh my god, he's so sweet. They get to go to Hogsmeade, is that how you pronounce it? When they're in their 3rd year, if they have like a signed permission slip. I want to visit there too, because like that's where they get like the butterbeer, and there's like a candy shop they talk about that sells all kinds of candy. And I did try butterbeer in Universal Studios and it was so sweet. Like I couldn't finish 1 cup. It was just too sweet. I don't know, Ron and Hagrid, I've been loving them so much. Like Ron is just this like clueless, funny character, and I love that for him. He's such a good friend. I love him. And Draco, I want to strangle him so much, but like in the movies, I know you guys, if you've seen the movies and read the books, the movies, I don't know why. Like at the end of the movies, I'm like, wait, he's kind of... I feel like I'm talking so much that this video is gonna be like an hour long, but like it's just that good. I'm on page 268, chapter 13. I probably won't update you guys till tomorrow, and it's only, well, it's 9:30. I want to get like another hour of reading and then I'm going to bed, so I want to get through a little bit more of this book and then update you guys tomorrow. I just got back from my hair appointment. I don't even want to show you my hair. I think she cut the curtain bangs a little bit too short, and it's basically like she should have just given me bangs at this point. Let's just ignore my hair. I mean, I can't, but like, let's just ignore it. Okay, I'm being dramatic. Okay, anyways, I finished this book last night, and thank God it didn't end the way I thought it was gonna end. Because I did not have the mental capacity last night to deal with how I thought this book was gonna end based on like what I remember from the movies. But I think by far, out of the 3 books that we've read in this vlog, this is definitely my favorite. It's definitely 5 stars. There's a really big plot twist in this, and even though I already knew that was gonna happen, I was still shocked. That's how good these books are. I knew from the second like something happened, I'm like, oh, this is definitely gonna happen, and it did happen, and I was still shocked. I've never had that with a book that I've like read before. It's like my first time reading. Like I'm feeling the first time I'm reading this, even though I've seen the movies and I think I've read this one. Okay, I remember. I think the 4th one is where I stopped, and that's gonna be our next book. But this book was so sweet and wholesome. I loved Dumbledore in this. It's just, ugh, I love him. But I do wish that they talked more about Quidditch, because I think when they did talk about Quidditch, it was like very fast, a few pages, but I wish they talked about it more in here because it just feels like a super intense game that I want to know all the details. And the announcer or the game announcer, I don't know, like the person who describes what's happening in the game. He's so funny. His name's Lee Jordan, I think, and you can tell he's biased and everything, but it's so funny. It's like late afternoon now, like 5 p.m. because I was busy. I still have stuff to do, but I started the 4th book, which is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This one I don't remember reading. Basically they're in their 4th year of school in Hogwarts. So annoying. Can't go. Can it just stay, please? But apparently there's this like big tournament. The Triwizard tournament occurs in Hogwarts. Like his name gets picked out of the goblet and he takes part in it, and Hermione and Ron help him throughout the way. So that's the gist of this. It is pretty long. I think it's like 700-ish pages. Hey guys, time for an update. It's like 2 days later. I'm still on the same book. I got like over halfway through this book, chapter 23, page 340, and I have a lot to say. Like, I haven't been filming the last couple days because I just feel like I've been in a little bit of a reading slump. Like, it was just so hard for me to pick up a book, maybe because I had a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on. So first thing, I made notes so I knew what to talk about. First, Hermione being such an empath towards like the house elves. I feel like that would be me. Like, she feels bad for the house elves because like they're not getting paid. They're just like working for free, but literally that's what they want to do. Like, they don't want to be free. They just want to like work for someone. She started a movement. It's like SPEW, SPEW. I'll put what it means up here just because I don't remember, but oh my god, I feel like that would be me. Like, I feel so bad about everything that I would be a part of this movement with her. And there's this new teacher. They have a new defense against dark arts teacher. I feel like they never last more than a year, but this new one is Professor Moody, and I'll put a picture up here of him, and it was like perfect. The casting of this was actually pretty good. Like, since I know, like, I've watched the movies, I can imagine who is who. Like, I imagine Harry as like the actor and like Hermione as Emma Stone, and so I feel like it just like fits. I feel like it takes away from me imagining what these characters would look like because I have watched all the movies, but it's fine. Like, at least I don't have to like think hard. They're just there in my head. It's like I'm watching the movie in my head. This book was a little bit slow, like the first like third of it, but then once the Triwizard tournament was introduced, like that's where it picked up. And now they have this ball going on. It's called a Yule Ball, which is like tradition for a Triwizard tournament, and they have to ask girls to go with them because the champions are opening the ball dancing, like ballroom dancing. And oh my god, I forgot about this little romance. There's this like little side romance for Harry. He has like a crush on this girl named Cho on the Ravenclaw house, and she's a year older and she also plays Quidditch, and he just won't admit it to himself. Like, he's attracted and blushing every time he talks about her or like comes up in his mind, and that's where I am right now. Like, chapter 23, the Yule Ball, and Cedric Diggory is playing such a bigger role in this, and I love it because he is played by Robert Pattinson in the movie, and I love him. Yeah, that's all I'm about to say. That's where I am. I'm gonna try and read a big chunk of this tonight and possibly finish it tomorrow, just because I think this is day 3 of me reading this. What is it with these like defense against dark arts professors? This book is doing some emotional damage to me right now. I just finished this book, guys, like literally 30 seconds ago. And I have so much to say. And I think at this point, I cannot keep this reading vlog spoiler free. So if you haven't read or watched the movies, maybe click out now. I feel like the books and the movies have been out for so long and everyone knows about it that it's okay for me to like speak spoilers, because if I am keeping this vlog spoiler free, I feel like it'd be so boring and bland. I'd be like, oh my god, this ending was something else, which it was. The way I know J.K. Rowling is a phenomenal author, but the way her mind works, like everything in this book tied together, like literally the small details that happened in the beginning tied back to the very end, and the truth about what happened. Like literally Moody, he's a new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, and the plot twist and everything that happened to him in the beginning makes sense now, knowing that I know the truth. I don't remember reading this when I was young. I think this is where I stopped. I do remember the movie, but reading it is a whole new experience. The plot twist, it's like I'm reliving it and I'm finding out for the first time. I was genuinely shocked. I was crying. I was mad. I was frustrated throughout this whole book, especially the end. The emotional damage this put me through. The last chapter, it says the beginning, which it is the beginning. This is where everything begins, because this at the end is when Voldemort rises again. And this was crazy. Like the whole meeting was crazy. He was like dueling with Lord Voldemort, and then while they were dueling, ghosts or an echo of the people that Lord Voldemort's wand have wronged or murdered started coming out. Like Cedric came out. Don't even get me started on Cedric. That was so sad. Like he ended up getting killed and he comes out as a ghost. He's like, please take my body back to my parents. Take my body back. I was literally crying. I was crying. And then the other people started coming out that Voldemort killed, including his parents. And they were like, keep going here. Don't let go. Don't let go. And then after that, he ran for the cup, because it's a portkey to bring him back to Hogwarts, and like the ghost like distracted Voldemort and he came back. And then there was a plot twist after this. I was like, no, this has to end. Like this is probably the end. But no, Mad-Eye Moody, there's a twist with him and everything just came out. This is the book where it really proved to me that Snape is good if Dumbledore trusts him, because Dumbledore knows everything. He is the shit. Don't cross him, but he trusts people. He has his reasons, and this is where I started to like kind of like Snape, even though he's kind of mean and rude. I just hate it when Malfoy is obviously doing something to Harry and Malfoy just gets away with it and Harry gets in trouble, even though Malfoy or Draco started it. It's just, I'm gonna take away a 0.5 of stars just because it was a little bit slow for me. It probably was just me because I was in a reading slump, but this was amazing. Cannot believe what just happened. This is where it all starts. Hey guys, just an update. I don't think I even filmed any of me reading in between the last clip you saw and this clip. I'm sorry, it's just so busy right now. We're preparing for the holidays. It's literally the 21st right now. I'm literally running late. I'm supposed to pick someone up from the airport who's landing in like 30 minutes. So I'm gonna just give you a quick update. So I am this much through the book. This book, I had to get it on my Kindle because this book has literally zero flop. Look at this. And it's such a thick book. Anyways, I am page 185, chapter 11. And this book, I think, has 800 pages. So far, nothing much is going on. Well, there is. Like, Dudley got attacked by Dementors. Well, Harry got attacked by Dementors in the broad daylight in the Muggle world, and Dudley just happens to be there, and he uses his like Patronus to scare them away, and he gets in trouble. And then he was like threatened to get suspended from Hogwarts, but you know, Dumbledore saves the day, like always. And he's met with this like group called the Order of Phoenix, and they're like top secret group, like they're the ones against Voldemort. And I just remember the scene from the movie where they're looking for the headquarters, and it's like Sirius's parents' place, and it's hidden, like it's in between houses. There's just like a door that pops up and then it closes again. Anyways, there's nothing much going on. Like I have some notes here, like except for Dudley getting attacked, but it's just talking about the day-to-day life of Harry. But the thing is, nothing is normal about his day-to-day. Everything around him, like in the wizard world, everything is so interesting. Like the decorations, the wall paintings, everything's moving and pictures are moving and can talk to you. I wish we had that. Like you could be be talking to you like someone who passed away, like your loved one. I would love to talk to like my great grandparents. It's almost 2025. How come we haven't figured that out yet? And then there's like Mr. Weasley, who is like obsessed with every like mundane muggle world stuff, like how a phone works, how a train works, and it's so funny. And I also love like the newfound family that's like been built in this book. Ron and Hermione always there for him, helping him any way that they could, and basically putting their lives on the line as well. And the Weasley family, Harry does not have a family, like at all. The Dursleys, his aunt and uncle, do not treat him like a human being. Basically, they hate everything about him. They're legally required to take care of him because he has no more like living relatives. But the Weasleys took him in with open arms. Like Mrs. Weasley in the last book, he described never getting like a motherly hug, and Miss Weasley like hugged him while he was like recovering from what happened in the last book, and it was just so sweet. The twins are my favorite. They're so funny. Everything they say and do, it like just makes me laugh, and I'm just like super sad what's gonna happen, because like what, why do that? Good morning, guys. It is the next day. Last night I listened to the book and was coloring. I feel like that was really relaxing and made me fall asleep really fast. I've been loving that coloring app. Anyways, I'm here for a book update. I feel like I haven't been updating as much on this book as I would want to, but I also don't want to say much because, again, I'm gonna have a fun time editing this and figure out I have like 3 hours worth of footage I need to cut down to like under an hour. I'm this much into the book, not even halfway. This book is thick. There's a lot of things going on, but in the back it talks about how Harry is connected to Voldemort and that he needs to learn how to put up a guard and stop Voldemort from like seeing his thoughts and his dreams and just being in his head. So that's when he goes to Snape to learn how to block him. I remember that from the movie, but we're not even there yet. It's not talking about Snape teaching Harry because this lady came into the chat. Yeah, this lady. I despise her so much. Professor Umbridge. That was really bad. I'm sorry. I'm just so annoyed right now. She is from the Ministry of Magic, and I think they're trying to like interfere with how Dumbledore is running Hogwarts because they don't trust him. Nuh-uh. And now she's like banning a lot of stuff, and for once like she's banning meeting of students of more than 3, so like they can't meet in groups, and if there any existing clubs, sports teams or anything, has to go to her to be approved to like continue on. So she's ruining everything, especially for Ron and Harry because they're both on the Quidditch team. Apparently Umbridge was like, I'm gonna think about it if Gryffindor can play again, but then Slytherin obviously is automatically a yes. And I'm like, where is Dumbledore in this whole situation? Like, he's not present, but I know he's dealing with a lot more important things than this. I hated that lady. And I'm hating her even now in words. Never wanted to strangle someone as much as her. This book is really long, and the chapters are like more than 20 pages sometimes, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't. This is like, especially reading about Umbridge is just making me lose my mind, so I've been listening to it on audio, and I feel like I've been getting through more of it. Oh, my brother is revving his engine. The garage is right under me. I forgot my train of thought. Hello guys, it's days and days later. It is December 26th. So Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you guys and Happy New Year. I don't know when you'll see this, but I hope you enjoyed your holidays. I took off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day just so I can spend time with my family. We had a lot of dinners and get-togethers. It was just so fun and I wanted to be in the moment and just enjoy every little bit of it. Christmas is like my favorite holiday, so I wanted to sit back and relax and just do fun things with my family. Anyways, I did finish this book Christmas Eve on the 24th before dinner. I don't know what to say. I was crying with the ending of this one. I was crying. Chapter 35 and onwards, I was so mad, frustrated. I wanted to strangle Bellatrix. I don't know, I just wanted to strangle every character that I hated because like, why? I can't believe Sirius just died like that. Like, what? What I loved about this book was how like everyone didn't believe Dumbledore and Harry that Voldemort was back, and they got the new defense teacher Umbridge, hate her, like you already know. So they decided to meet up and form this group called the DA. The DA standing for Dumbledore's army, and they had to meet up in secret in the secret room that Dobby, it's Dobby, right? Because I was listening to the audiobook and it said Dobby. So I've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time. I've been saying Dobby. Dobby. So they were practicing there. Harry was teaching them all kinds of like spells and how to protect themselves from curses because he fought the Dark Lord himself. And during this, there's like this little romance between Harry and Cho. They end up going out. He doesn't understand why she's crying a lot and like talking about Cedric. He doesn't want to talk about Cedric because it brings up like bad memories, and she just gets frustrated and leaves him in the middle of their date. And then he goes to Hermione to ask for advice, and she's like, you were a little bit insensitive there. Like, you didn't take the hints that this is what that meant. Like, you just gotta be there for her. And then Ron's like, bruh, they gotta make a book about reading girls' minds because we don't understand. I love how Ron and Hermione just continuously bicker at each other, and this kind of insults that Hermione calls Ron is so funny. Knowing that at the end they're gonna fall in love. I just love the banter between them. And I also love Fred and George once Dumbledore left, isn't headmaster anymore, and Umbridge become headmistress. They just started causing chaos everywhere and setting off the products that they made because they have like this joke shop that Harry helped them fund, and they just set all these things up and messed with the school, and at the end they owned up to it and they're like, yeah, bye, we're not staying. Like, it's not worth it. Dumbledore is gone. We're not staying here and getting educated by you. And they just left. I love that. And they're like, Peeves, give her a hard time for us. And Peeves does. And it's so funny because like none of the teachers care. Like, they just turn a blind eye to it. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, McGonagall literally was walking past Peeves, who was unscrewing a chandelier so it'd fall on Umbridge when she walked by, and she was like, it unscrews the other way, and just continues walking. Like, I love that. Like, she got what was coming to her. Anyways, this book was long, and it was talking mostly about Hogwarts is basically under Umbridge's power, and I just hated it. But the description in the back talking about Snape and like him teaching Harry occlumency, I don't know how to pronounce that. It doesn't really talk about that much. Like, it was maybe like a chapter or two, so I was looking forward to a little bit more of Snape because I've realized Snape is just like a moody queen. I've been seeing like reels or YouTube shorts about him just like being moody and just relatable. It's so funny. Okay, why is he becoming my favorite character right now? He's so moody and I just can relate to him. It's like, oh my god, I'm dealing with a bunch of these young wizards who think they're the shit. I want to give all these books a 5 stars. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed this, but Umbridge, I'm still gonna give it a 5 stars because the ending made up for it. I am not gonna lie, it is 2 days later and I haven't updated you guys. I have been reading, but with all the post-Christmas celebrations that we had, I just didn't pick up the camera or feel like reading as much as I would have. I'm sorry, but I'm this much into the book, about halfway in, page 271, chapter 16, and it's A Very Frosty Christmas. One thing I want to say about these books is that I love the emphasis they put on Christmas. Like, they celebrate Christmas in each book, and I love how their gifts are automatically like magically delivered to their bunks or their beds. I just love it. So far, there's a lot happening, but like nothing too exciting. In the very beginning, it's in like Narcissa and Bellatrix's point of view when they go meet Snape and they make the unbreakable vow that later becomes the death of someone. Also, this is when Harry starts to eye Ginny and when Hermione gets jealous whenever Ron is with a girl, because I think he's with a girl right now. Is it Lavender? I think. And she's super jealous and like does things to make him jealous too. And it's just funny. I think this is when like their romance umps up. Anyways, the first interesting thing I guess that happened was that Katie Bell, one of the students at Hogwarts, accidentally comes upon the opal necklace that Draco is supposed to like deliver to Dumbledore. It's cursed and ends up going to St. Mungo's hospital to recover from her injuries. I'm pretty sure there's a few more that happens to, I think, but it's a cursed necklace and it just basically makes you crazy, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, Draco used in a failed attempt to assassinate Albus Dumbledore. You know, I think deep down, after like watching the movies, I've been watching the movies and there's like some parts where Draco is like feeling bad and stuff like that. I feel like he's good in the inside, but he's just getting pressured by his family to be a Death Eater. So far, that's it. I'm gonna keep reading. Hello guys, it is a week later. I know there are so many time jumps in this video, but things just happen. The year did not start right for me because one, I went to a trip to the ER because I was having some kind of allergic reaction or something. Then I got sent home. Then it just got worse and worse throughout the next few days, and as you can see, I'm still suffering from it. I know, like, it's a massive rash all over my body and I just did not feel like showing myself on camera because I just felt ugly. I don't know. And then we had a family emergency and everything was just chaotic. So I didn't film as much. I didn't read as much. So I really apologize for that. This video was supposed to go up tomorrow, January 4th. And I do apologize. I did plan to upload this last week, but now you're seeing it this week. My apologies. There's, lots going on and I've been put on a bunch of meds trying to figure out what it is. Currently, my upper body is very painful because it's just covered in hives, actually, not rashes. Well, rashes / hives, I don't know. Anyways, I did finish the 6th book, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I did read this. It took me like a week and a half to, just because that's when everything was happening. And to sum it up, my thoughts, this book was the saddest for me so far, just because my favorite character, Dumbledore, sadly passed away. And I knew it was gonna happen. Like, I knew in the movies this is what was gonna happen. I just, like, reading it, I just felt like I felt it again for the first time. Like, all the feelings that I felt watching the movies for the first time. Yeah, I was just completely devastated because I just love Dumbledore. I love all the little things that he loves. I love his love for sweet things like candy. It's just so cute. He makes it his password for his office. He loves raspberry jam and sherbet lemons. And I loved how trusting he was and gave everyone a second chance, and he didn't care if they were purebloods, muggles, or a giant like Hagrid. Like, he gave everyone a fair chance and even a second chance. Also did value respect, and every time Harry would say Snape, he'd be like, Professor Snape, Harry. Even though he knows that Harry has ill feelings towards Severus, he makes his students value and learn the lesson of respect. That's what my thoughts were. Obviously, the last 100 pages were a lot. The boy who made all the wrong choices, Draco, I know it was part of his plan. I feel like he saw all this and he sacrificed himself just so Draco could live and be given another chance in life because he's young. And I did end up giving this book, obviously, a 5 stars. I think this is one of my favorite books in the series. I am on the 7th and final book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I'm actually halfway through the book. I've been reading and listening to it just so I can distract myself from itching, because itching makes my hives worse. And this is where everything just goes down. The war's coming up, everyone's on edge. Dumbledore just died. Like, who's Harry gonna look to for help? Obviously there's like the rest of the order, but Dumbledore was his main guy. Mad-Eye ended up dying. When I first watched the movies, I remembered thinking Mad-Eye has such a interesting character, and I thought that he would have had so much potential to stay in the series because like how extremely interesting he is, and like he had tons of background facts and was a celebrated Auror who went a little mad and went through like a lot, missing a chunk of his nose and only drinks from his own flask because of paranoia. I just feel like he had so much potential to add on to the series. Sorry, I'm reading my notes because I remember writing this down because I would have forgotten. But then he randomly gets killed in the sky without being able to defend himself. But I also think it was necessary for him to die because like he was the final nail in the coffin that just really solidified the fact that it is now on Harry and Hermione and Ron. Like, it's all on them to save the wizard world because now Dumbledore's gone, and the one guy that they can turn to that worked with Dumbledore and was close with Dumbledore is also now gone. That really emphasized the fact that it is on Harry now. Like, he has to figure this out by himself with Hermione and Ron, and that's what is happening in this book. They dropped out of Hogwarts. They are on a mission to find the rest of the Horcruxes. Is that how you pronounce it? Horcruxes, where Voldemort put a piece of his soul in and basically destroy every single one. I think there's like a few left, and right now they were in Grimmauld Place, and this made me so sad too. Kreacher, he's so mean. He hates Harry, but he ends up warming up to Harry because he has lived a long time by himself, and when Sirius came back, he was just horrible to Kreacher because Kreacher didn't like him, and Kreacher just generally lacked some affection. And when Harry showed him some affection, he became so sweet, making dinner for them, taking care of them, cleaning the house, finally putting on clean clothes. I just loved it, but it was short-lived, and I just feel bad for Kreacher. Like, I wonder how he's doing. And now they are like operating places to places, trying to figure out where the rest of the Horcruxes are. They're traveling, trying to stay undetected, and they found this locket. And guess who had it? This lady. This lady, I don't even want to say her name. Anyways, they got the locket, and when they put it on, it puts them in a foul mood. And they're just expressing their hatred for each other, and it kind of broke them apart. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading and update you guys later. Hello guys, it's the next day. Don't mind my appearance. I'm still a little bit sick. I'm staying in bed all day. It's minus 29 outside, so I'm staying in bed and cuddling with my warm blankets. Anyways, I'm this far into the book. We have entered the war and a lot has happened. As much as I was attracted to Draco and still am to this day, I had a crush on him when I was little. Every time I read about him, I just want to strangle him. Anyways, I'm on chapter 32, The Elder Wand, and I think this is the episode where something huge happens, but Fred just died. Like, imagine how George would feel. I mean, everyone feels horrible, but George, like, having your twin die is like having a piece of you essentially die. I'm just shocked. So much is happening right now. I can't wrap my mind around everything that's going on, and Voldemort is just sitting there in Hogsmeade, not even doing anything. You started this war and you're just sitting there. Snape just died. I don't know why I completely forgot about Harry looking into his memories. Like, he's been protecting him the whole time because he loved his mother and they were best friends back then. this book is doing something to me. I haven't been able to focus, but I've been listening to the Harry Potter theme song through my AirPods, and it just is making the whole experience 10 times better because I feel like I'm there watching everything happen. Yes, Mrs. Weasley, yes. I remember Mrs. Weasley getting so mad at Bellatrix for, first of all, killing Fred and now trying to kill Ginny, and she's just like, get out of my way, get back, she's mine. And then Bellatrix is like, really, can you do it? And I think her like ignorance and like her overall confidence of not being killed by Mrs. Weasley was her grave mistake. Like, she put down her walls and was like laughing and just making fun of Mrs. Weasley. She didn't know what was coming, because I know she was like a dueling champion at some point when she was young. I remember that. So Bellatrix got what was coming for her. That's like such badass for Miss Weasley. And Creature came. Oh my god, I love him. I thought I'd never see him again after what happened at like the secret house or the headquarters, but he's back. I love him. I think I love him as much as Dobby, but we all know what happened to Dobby. It is like 3 to 4 hours later. I did finish the last book in the series, and oh my god, this was crazy. Definitely a 5 stars. Like, it was so emotional, but I think I'm just so numb from life and everything that has occurred to me in the last couple weeks that I was like, I can't even cry, but I'm so sad right now. Like, have you had those moments? The ending was so crazy. The way that Dumbledore came back, well, not really came back, because like Harry died for like a second and then he encountered Dumbledore in this like white room, from what I think. Yeah, it's in this like white place. I'll put the image up here. So I feel like it kind of confirms like everything that happened in his life that he found out in the like book that Rita Skeeter wrote, and kind of the dark side, not the dark side, like all the secrets he had and what happened in his life, because he did go through a lot, and also like just answered questions and explained everything that he hid from him that he had to find out for himself. I think it was essential that Dumbledore didn't tell him everything so he can find out himself and why he needs to do what he needs to do in order to save like basically the world. And once he found out that he needed to die, like, he accepted it. He was like, okay, this is what I need to do to save the people that I love, essentially. The scene where he walks the forest to meet Voldemort, he sees the people who he loves that have died, like his parents, Sirius Black. He was just asking, oh, like, does it hurt to die? Is it scary? And Sirius Black was like, no, it's easier than going to sleep. And that just broke my heart. And then he saw Lupin, who ended up dying in the process of like during the war. And I just felt so sad, because it feels like it's Harry Potter all over again, like his life all over again. Lupin and Tonks, they both died, but they recently had a son, and the son would never grow up to like meet them and get to know them. And Harry is the godfather, so I feel like he can really relate to Ted. Ted is the baby, and him saying that the ghosts walking around him felt more real, and the people who are still out there like fighting for their survival and their world feels more like ghosts. I think that's when he just accepted it, that he needed to die. But then he met Dumbledore and then he came back. Like, I grew up around the series, and it's just like such a comfortable read, or a comfortable world to go back into. Harry, throughout these book series, taught us to never give up, essentially. I know that sounds like cliche and all that, but he destroyed the Horcrux in himself and then came back from the dead to kill Voldemort. He ended up being the like owner of the Elder Wand that Voldemort had, and he thought Snape was the owner because Snape killed Dumbledore, who was like the last owner of the Elder Wand. But he endured so much in this series, and he persevered through all of it. There were times where I was kind of annoyed of him and fed up with him. I'm like, oh my god, okay, Harry, why are you doing this? Like, there was times where I'm like, oh, I can't stand you right now. But he showed us that you can push through even the hardest times in your life and bounce back and succeed and eventually save the whole world. Maybe not for us, but like, he saved the whole world. I think my favorite aspect of this book, or the favorite overall theme, is like the newfound family, like him finding comfort and the sense of family in people that he didn't even know and welcomed him with open arms. Not because he's like famous and everything, well, maybe because of that, but I love the newfound family in this. I especially love Ron, Hermione, and him, like the importance of friendship as well. I feel like they would have not survived without each other. Harry was the leader and Hermione was like the library. She knew everything. She had so many useful tricks up her sleeves that basically have saved them so many times. She's just so smart and witty and so resourceful. I would want Hermione on my side. Like if my life is in trouble, Hermione is my gal. Like she would know everything. And Ron, I think throughout the book I saw a lot of character development from him. Well, like everyone, especially Harry, but Ron, like he starts up being this shy boy who doesn't have a lot of confidence in himself. He shows up with this rat. This rat from day one is the person who betrayed Harry's parents, and he was just right under Harry's nose the whole time. I was so shocked about that. Anyways, throughout the books, I've noticed he like starts gaining confidence and bravery. I loved his strategic thinking, especially in the Chambers of Secret, where they had to basically play human chess. If they made the wrong move, they would die. And he also plays a very vital role in defeating Voldemort and saving the world. And the little romance between him and Hermione, I love it. I think without Hermione, these two boys would kind of fall apart because Hermione's kind of the glue. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I have a lot to say, but like nothing is popping up in my head right now. I'm so sad to not be in this world anymore. I have loved being in this world. I feel like I am gonna be in a hangover, a Harry Potter hangover, and it's gonna be hard for me to enjoy the next few books I'm gonna read because all I'm gonna be thinking about is this series. And I don't know, they ended up all being 5 stars for me, not because like they're popular and I'm giving in to the hype, but I genuinely enjoy them. They're so fun to read. I am convincing my little brother to start reading them. He's 12 right now and all he does is go on his phone and play Roblox, so I'm gonna convince him to read the first book and hopefully he likes it. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. This video is probably so long, so if you made it this far, comment one of these emojis that have a wizard or a witch hat on them. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry again if this video was late, but it was well worth the wait because I enjoyed every single one and I devoured and took my time with it and I loved it. That's what reading is like, right? If I rushed these books, I feel like I would have been overwhelmed and just feel like I'm reading them for the sake of getting this video out, not what I want to do on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much again, and I hope you enjoyed my first video of 2025. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I hope I see you in another video. Bye.